Hey everyone, got a short story for you here today. Kind of one of the more famous stories about Jesus, but John records it in a very short form. So we're going to turn to John chapter 6 and we'll start in verse 16. I'll read it for you guys now. It says, When evening came, his disciples went down to the sea, got into a boat, and started across the sea to Capernaum. It was now dark, and Jesus had not yet come to them. The sea became rough because a strong wind was blowing. When they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus walking on the sea and coming near the boat, and they were frightened. But he said to them, It is I, do not be afraid. Then they were glad to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat was at the land to which they were going. So, right after Jesus goes up to the mountain to pray, after feeding 5,000, the disciples start sailing across the lake. And as they sail across the lake, um, Jesus catches up with them by walking across the lake. And we know that it's a stormy night and they're kind of confused. But I think what's really interesting here is they're all afraid because who wouldn't be seeing someone walking on water? That would be like, oh, a ghost or whatever. Um, all it takes is for Jesus to say, It is I, do not be afraid. And then the disciples aren't afraid and they become glad to take him on board. So I think kind of like maybe the interesting thing here to point out in this story is that when Jesus is with us, we don't need to be afraid. Um, so the challenge I think for you guys right now is just to think, uh, when am I afraid, and how can I remember that Jesus is with me? And so I think that's just the kind of the personal challenge. And look forward to speaking with you again tomorrow.